Hello, good evening. Welcome to our February Community Conversations with Kelowna Supernatural. I'm your host, Emily Baxter, and I have my co-host with me tonight, Lucy Baxter, to do some baking with us. If you joined us last month in January, we talked about the health benefits of our cottage cheese. This month, we've partnered with Sticky Fingers Cooking to make a delicious recipe just in time for Valentine's Day. So throughout the show, we would love to hear from you and greet you. So comment below and tell us who you are and where you're tuning in from. So I would like to introduce from Sticky Fingers Cooking, Chef Penny. Hi, Penny. We're so excited. So a little background on Sticky Fingers Cooking. It was started in 2008 in Colorado, and their dedicated, talented, and creative team of instructor chefs cultivate curiosity for thousands of children in online classes, in the schools, camps, and special events. So take it away, Chef Penny. Tell us what we're making tonight.
Well, yay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I love it. I love to bake. I love to cook. I'm in Chicago, so holler if you're in Chicago. Would love to say hi. And I'm so grateful to be here. I am a pastry chef. It's what I kind of do sometimes, and I love teaching for Sticky Fingers. I actually just hit my 2-year anniversary. So it's like one of my favorite things. I have a 5-year-old and I have a little one on the way. So I love kids. I'm really excited that Lucy's here so I can work with her as well. And I'm just super excited that we are making this delicious mahogany chocolate cake. And we're putting them in cupcakes. You can make them into a cake form. You can make them even into little baby bites, which are great for if you're going to parties or something and you just want something like a one pop bite type of thing. But they are super delicious. We also have 2 recipes on the side that we won't be making today, but please feel free to check them out because they pair so nicely together, of course, with the Kelowna chocolate milk, which is delicious. And then the other thing that I just want to share with you is I sometimes look off to the side, but that's because even though I'm a chef, and I encourage all of you as well to follow a recipe, baking is very scientific. So make sure that you are putting the exact ingredients. So that's why I'm always looking over here if you see me doing that, because I don't want to ruin it, right? And I want to make sure that I'm making the right thing for you guys. So yes, so the recipe just popped up. So hopefully you will follow along with us. All right, let's go. Also, if you can't tell, I'm very animated. So I might throw in a dance party every once in a while because I like to do that with my kids. Yes. You just have to come up with the music in your head, right? It's so much fun. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we are going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Done that?
Yep.
Oh, you're already on top of it. I love it. Okay, so good. Also, you will see me go like this so that you can see what's going on here, right? So I'm not leaving you in the dark, right? But every once in a while I'll come up and I'll just say hi so I can see you guys and see what everyone's writing and whatnot. Okay, so as you noticed, I have 2 bowls, right? We are gonna do a dry bowl and a wet bowl, okay? So we're gonna start with our wet bowl first, okay? And we're gonna put all of our wet ingredients in. Okay, so first into the wet bowl, we're gonna put 1/2 of a cup of sugar. It says sugar right on there. 1/2 of a cup. Okay, and we're gonna put that right in there. Now, something that you'll also see me do often is when I finish with an ingredient that I know I'm not gonna use again, I like to move it out of the way. And I do that so that I start cleaning ahead of time. I'm really into cleaning, okay? And for those of you who are kids that are baking with your parents, they will appreciate it so much if you start learning how to clean early. So yes, I'm just gonna go plop that right behind me because I'm not gonna use that again. Okay, so into our 1/2 cup of sugar, we are gonna put 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon, that's the smaller one, not a tablespoon, 1 teaspoon. And I like to make noises, kind of like, I don't know if you know Emerald, you know, he used to go bam, right? So I like to make lots of noises. Okay. Into that, we are using our fabulous Kelowna chocolate milk. Yep, shake it. Right? Now, I had already measured mine just because I like my ingredients at room temperature. Okay? So mine is 1 cup and it's already been measured. And then this goes straight into my sink. I'm not going to use it again. And I realized I forgot to tell. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do just a little zhuzh with my liquid. Okay. Like mix it up a little. Doesn't have to be really too much because we're about to put more stuff in there, okay? All right. So into my sugar, vanilla, chocolate milk, I am going to be putting a teaspoon, again, the smaller one, of white vinegar. This is the biggest jug ever. So you got to be really careful when you pour it in.
Vinegar?
Vinegar. Yes, I know. You're probably like confused. Also, it's very sticky, so hold your nose. Okay. So the reason we're using vinegar is because when it, well, now I have to tell you, Lucy, per our conversation earlier, we're jumping the gun, but that's okay. We'll just talk about it. So the vinegar, when paired with the baking soda, is actually going to help produce carbon dioxide, and it's going to help make the cakes light and fluffy and very airy and make it rise, basically. So
what else do you know about baking soda and vinegar? What do you mix baking soda and vinegar together?
It makes an explosion.
Like a volcano?
Yes. My son loves to do that because it's so fun to watch it everywhere, right? I love that. So yes, so vinegar sounds weird because it is a sweet dish, but at the same time it's needed, and I promise you, you will not taste it. Kids, you will not taste it, okay? Just trust me on this. There's so much chocolate in here that you're going to taste. It's the best part. Okay, so back to our bowl. Now we are going to put in 1 cup of applesauce. And again, mine's already measured because I wanted to bring it to room temperature. So it's already measured. And again, just kind of mix it in. Now, you might be wondering, why are we putting applesauce in here? And you also might be wondering why there's no egg, because there is no egg in here, which is one of my favorite parts, because that means you can lick the spoon without having to worry about it. Get ready for that part. I love it. So yes, the applesauce obviously is going to make it a little bit sweeter. It's going to continue to make it fluffy. And it's kind of replacing the egg in this situation. So it's a little bit healthier version. Not that eggs aren't healthy. Eggs are very healthy, but it's just a different type of substitute. Okay. All right. And then the last thing we're going to put in is, well, you have an option, but of course I'm going to be using our fabulous Kelowna butter. All right. And my store only had salted. So that's okay. I like salt. I'm not going to complain. And salt actually brings out the flavor in whatever you're cooking. If you know that from actually cooking. Same thing with baking. So we would be using salt anyway, so it's not a bad thing. And you're going to go ahead and put in 1 stick. And make sure that, again, is softened. And now you are going to whisk like crazy. And this is actually where I prefer to do my dance parties, because you can whisk and dance at the same time, right? And that's also the other reason why I like everything at room temperature, because when you whisk in the butter, it's already kind of mixed in. Now, if your stuff is a little bit cold, which my applesauce I think was still a little bit cold, and I'm going to show you this, and I show you this not to show you that any of you are failing or any of you are doing it wrong, but I want to show you that this is okay. So if you look inside my bowl, you might see the butter chunks. Mm-hmm. And that is okay. It will actually, when I show you the finished product, you'll see that I actually like the way it looks because the cupcakes on top look a little bit crackly. So it makes it look kind of fun, right? So this is not a bad thing. Now you do have the option of melting the butter if you wanted to, but then again, you'd want to bring it to room temperature. You don't want it to be too hot, right? So do not feel bad if your butter looks chunky. So be it. Big deal. Move on. Anything you have to say until we move on to the dry ingredients?
Well, I just wanted to welcome, we've got some other kids that are following along with us. We have Lincoln, Paxton, and Kinlan are following along from Iowa, I believe, the Rasmus family. So hi, guys. We're so glad to be cooking with you, too. And if you're just joining us, we are Kelowna Supernatural here live with Chef Penny. Oh, look at that. There's some kids. We've got Chef Penny from Sticky Fingers Cooking making Mini Mahogany Cakes with our Kelowna Supernatural whole chocolate milk. And just like all of our products, our chocolate milk comes from grass-fed cows. It's minimally processed, so we pasteurize at the lowest possible level to just maintain that natural flavor.
Awesome. And I'm seeing, it's interesting that you say that, Kelowna, that the butter is 85% butter fat, because I actually trained in Paris, France, and that was like a huge thing, is the percentage fat of butter. So for those of you who are wondering, like, why does that matter? Because butter's actually, I mean, you guys could probably talk about this more than I can, but butter actually has a very high quantity of water in it. So you want it to be higher butter fat so that it's actually like, it makes the product dense and has good flavor versus too much water where the product will be kind of flat and, you know, nothing's exciting about it, right? So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. I'll keep Kelowna in my fridge.
Right.
So we are going to go ahead and, and also if you're reading the comments and you saw the Sticky Fingers joke, I should tell you, one of the best parts of Sticky Fingers, best, worst, depending on how you look at it. I don't want to say worst because it's not a bad thing, but I don't write the jokes, so no one can get mad at the teacher. But what do you call a cow that doesn't give milk? A milk dud. I mean, come on, those jokes, they just crack me up. I don't know where they come from, but they're so interesting and very entertaining. All right, so now we are going to put our dry ingredients together, right? So the first thing we're going to put in here is 1.5 cups of flour. Whoa! As I almost just dropped that. All right. So I'm just going to scoop mine in because I actually have a 1.5 cup measuring cup, which is very rare. All right. And then if you don't know the fancy trick, I'm going to teach you one more thing in a second. If you don't know the fancy trick of flour, after you put it on here, you just take, you can't see my flour. You take a knife, right? And you flatten it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right? All right. We're going to put that in the bowl. And then this is where the cleaning part comes in again. So we're going to move this out of the way. And for those of you who see my beautiful mess, it is normal for everyone to make a mess. Doesn't matter if you're a chef or not, right? So you're going to clean that up. And yes, I am going to take a minute to clean this up, because if I don't now, then I'm not going to do it later, or I'm going to be annoyed that I have to do it later, or it's going to take forever to do it later. And let me tell you, I went to a couple of pastry schools, not the one in Paris, when I went to the one in Chicago. And the number one thing that I failed on was cleaning ahead of time. I learned my lesson on that. So clean while you go. It will save you so much time later. Trust me. Again, your parents are going to love you. Okay, so into our bowl with 1.5 cups of flour. We're going to put 1/3 cup of baking cocoa. Okay? Cocoa powder. All right. And this gets everywhere, so you have to be very careful. It will literally just fly everywhere. All right. And again, moving it out of the way. All right, so we got flour and baking cocoa. Now, it does call for a half a teaspoon of salt. If you use salted cream, butter, you do not need it, but not the end of the world if you put it in. I promise you this will not be salty. So 1/2 of a teaspoon. It will not be salty, I promise you. If you're like, why are we putting all this non-sweet stuff into here? This is going to be the most chocolatey recipe you've like ever had. It's so good. Okay, so after we put our salt, now we've got baking soda and baking powder. Let's not mix these up. So my baking soda, most of you will recognize this, right? But my baking soda is in a bag. Yours is probably in a box, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, the one in the box, okay? 1.5 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon. And 1/2 teaspoon. Okay.
Hey, Chef Penny.
Yeah.
What does baking soda do?
Great question. So, as I mentioned earlier, baking soda is one of the leavening agents. So you might be familiar with yeast, right? Which also helps things leaven or rise, I should say. You know, for those of you who don't know the word leavening, right? So paired with the vinegar that we use, it's gonna together produce carbon dioxide, right? Which is gonna make it have air basically. So it's gonna be light and fluffy. So it's really gonna make the entire product not be so dense and heavy. You know, sometimes you have a cake where you're like, God, I feel like I'm eating a brick, right? This is really light and fluffy and you're gonna love it. And it's the key essential to making this delicious. Okay, good question. All right, now we're gonna put in our baking powder. Baking powder is usually in some sort of can, right? Okay, and we are gonna add in 1/2 teaspoon. I always like these because it's got a flat surface. Scoops it off. 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. All right. Okay. So now at this point, I just realized, grabbing my other whisk. Okay. You're going to want to whisk this together. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Now, you do have an option of sifting. Oh, look at me. I'm making a mess. You have an option of sifting. Yeah. Are you making a mess too?
Yes.
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right. You do have the option of sifting it. I don't know anyone that sifts anymore. I mean, do you guys sift ever?
No.
No. I mean, I don't even know where my sifter is. I remember back in the day, like when I was growing up, I sifted everything, but now, ugh, what a pain. All right, so we're just gonna whisk that just so it's somewhat together. Now you might see clumps of chocolate, totally okay, right? And here's again, I'm gonna do a little cleanup. Lucy, you better be cleaning.
I am.
Okay, just making sure. All right. Now we got our 2 bowls. Everyone's favorite part is about to happen, so stay tuned. Do not leave. All right. And it's not just the mixing the 2 together. All right. So we are going to be pouring our dry into our wet. And I like to do it in batches just because of the reason that we just showed you all, that we don't get the powder everywhere. Okay. And at this point, you may even see some of that butter dissolve because you're now putting something thicker in there, right? And again, it's okay that you see the chunks. It's really not a big deal. Promise you. Okay. I usually do it about 3 batches. You got to make sure you get down to the bottom too, because that's where the flour really likes to sit. Now, I'm using a hand whisk, which you see me going from arm to arm because, arm strength. Yeah. But you can use a mixer. You can use a hand mixer, an electric mixer, right? Okay.
Ooh, that was good.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Smells
You
good.
smell it?
too.
Oh yeah. Smells like cocoa powder.
I mean, I'm telling you, that chocolate milk makes such a big difference.
Chef Penny, do you
Yes.
think, would you notice a difference if it were like, let's say, a skim chocolate milk compared to a whole chocolate milk?
Yes, because obviously the whole chocolate milk is going to make it, again, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, the fat is what gives it that good flavor, right? So you can use skim, but I prefer the whole
Yeah.
because it gives it so much more flavor and taste and thickness, right? But again, still being fluffy. So yes, and let me tell you, I've already had like I don't know. You can see how much is missing in one cup. So not only have I had that, but I've already tried this with that, and put a cup. All right, don't do this if you're about to go to bed. But eating one of these and a cup of that chocolate milk is like the perfect after-school treat. Just delicious.
Mhm.
Everyone's gonna love you even more on Valentine's Day than they already do because this is like the perfect pairing. Okay, the last step, everyone's favorite, is the chocolate chips. Now, the best part of this recipe is it doesn't give you an amount. It says a handful. So Lucy,
Mhm.
do not use your hand. Use Mom's hand because she's got a bigger one, right? All right. So I'm literally just going to be putting in a lot of chocolate chips. And while I'm at it, since the bag's open, you got to make sure that the chocolate chips taste okay, right?
Make sure they're not poisonous.
Right. All right. Then you're just going to fold that in with a spatula. And if it looks like there's not enough chocolate chips, you're probably right. Just add some more. You never add too many chocolate chips. All right. So voila. And you can see, you probably, maybe you can't see, but the butter chunks are gone. They just like dissolved. Okay. All right. So then we are going to take our cupcake pan, and it is up to you if you want to spray them, if you want to use liners, whatever you want. If you want to make a big cake, if you want to make them into a bun, like mini buns, if you want to make them into a heart cake, there's so many options. Don't feel like you just need to put them in cupcake liners. Now, I like to use an ice cream scoop just because it's easier. And I'm going to just plop it in there. And it's about, 2/3 filled maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, 3/4. I don't know. Not a numbers person. I'm just a chef. And you're just going to fill these up, right? See, it makes it go really quick too. You're going to notice that you have a lot more batter than just 12. Okay. Oh, and I overfilled on this one. So, look at that though. Oh no, there's stuff on my fingers. Now, as long as you're not baking for other people or the people that you're baking for don't really care, then you can lick your fingers. And no one's around right now. There we go. You got it going on, right? Okay. So,
A whisk.
there's no egg in there, so eat away. I love that. Every sweet recipe should have no eggs so you can eat the batter, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, the last thing that I like to do, you don't have to do it, right? Because they're going to turn out fine. But one, you're just going to want to make sure that there's nothing on the edges. You can see I already have burnt stuff on mine. But I like to take a towel and lay it down. and just lightly put it so it kind of like flattens out, right? Okay. And then, wait, this should be a magic trick. I don't think it's gonna work, but let's see. Okay, ready? I'm going to put this in the oven. Oh, you can see me. I cheated. And voila!
Wow!
Ooh, I'm so schmancy. I did it. Okay, so I'm gonna take one of these out. Well, this is, but I mean, you could see the deep dark color. I mean, they are chocolatey, but you see the little cracks at the top that I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really cool, right? Even if you don't want to frost them or whatever. Okay. So now, I mean, like, how could I come on here and not eat one of these, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, but I'm going to make this even sweeter of a deal. Not only am I going to talk and chew on camera, right? But I'm going to show all of you Kelowna fans the best part. Cheers.
Woo! You need yours too.
I can't. I mean, like, they just go so well together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're so. I mean, like, oh, so the other two recipes. Look, I can't even talk. Look at that. Like, cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right? They go so well together. This is like the best pairing ever.
Yes.
And I'm glad I'm pregnant because I can eat them. So that's it.
That's awesome. We did go ahead and we made the recipe for the cheery drizzle that goes over top. So what did we put in it?
We put cherries.
Mm-hmm.
We thawed them out.
Yeah, thawed cherries.
Mm-hmm. And we put some of our delicious Kelowna Supernatural chocolate milk.
Of course.
And
a little sugar.
Yeah, a little sugar.
Yeah.
Not much.
No.
And cocoa powder.
Did we put cocoa? Yeah, I think we did. Yep. Yeah, so that's the second recipe. And then the third recipe on there we have not made, but we did get the ingredients for so we can make it another time.
Yeah.
It's the chocolate float. Is that what it's called?
It's chocolate bubbly ice cream float.
Ooh.
So it's got chocolate milk, vanilla ice cream, sparkling water, and vanilla extract. Super easy, super delicious. But I don't know. I'm like you, Lucy. I mean, I prefer to just drink it straight out of the bottle. Right?
Straight from the bottle. Yes. Oh, awesome. Well, our cakes are in the oven. Yep. So we're going to, what do we have? 20 minutes to wait, I think?
Yes. So it says 20 to 25 minutes. Mine were perfect at 20 minutes. You're going to want to take one of those like little, well, you can take a knife too, but I've got one of those fancy tools. You just stick right in there, and if it comes out clean, you're good. And 20 minutes was perfect for me.
Awesome. We're excited. Yeah. And then we've got our drizzle to put over top, and we'll save our drink for another day. Yeah. Well, Chef tonight. Yeah, I know we had lots of kids on. We had some kids watching from Colorado too. So I hope everything turned out there. Oh, look at that. See, they've got a nice mess going on. They're ready to clean up. Awesome. It's a great bedtime snack, we're going to call it, because we're having a bedtime snack, getting ready for school in the morning.
You can eat it for breakfast too, right? I mean,
right? Chocolate milk's good anytime.
Yes, agreed.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for teaching us some of the science behind cooking as well. Our next community conversations will be March 20th at 7 p.m. right here. And we are going through frequently asked questions. So those are questions that we get on social media. And, but most importantly, we want questions during the show. So come ready with those questions. We're going to have our marketing manager and our sales manager on as well. So give them the hard questions. It'll be good. And then I want to tell you about some of the classes we have with Sticky Fingers Cooking. Let's see. Let me look at my cheat sheet here. So these are some of our classes. Classes inspire a love of healthy cooking in children with interactive online cooking classes. Now, the best thing about this is, well, They use Kelowna Supernatural products, sure, but it's also free. So you can sign up on Sticky Fingers Cooking website and get into these classes. So the next one is Saturday, February 26th at 2 p.m. And they're making a double chocolate raspberry petite. And I don't know how to say that G word.
Gâteau.
Gâteau. That sounds French.
Cake.
It's got to be French, right?
Yes, for cake.
Yes. Oh. And then some lovely fancy French raspberry drizzle and raspberry latte glacé.
Yep, ice and ice.
Is that good? And then after that, the next class is Wednesday, March 8th at 4 p.m. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. So they're going to make St. Patty's Day Lucky Leek potato soup, easy Irish soda bread pops, and green grape muddlers. Yum.
Just delicious.
And then the other one in March is March 28th at 5 p.m. Supreme Sour Cream Cardamom Pear Cupcakes, Indian Sweetly Spiced Glaze, and Chilled Chai Pear Lassi. And that's with Chef Penny, who is on tonight with us. So if you want to see Chef Penny again, that's the March 28th class. But this is just the start of classes. We've got classes scheduled with Sticky Fingers Cooking, I believe, through the summer. Go on their website and you can find the whole list of classes and then their link there to sign up.
Awesome.
All right. Yes. Well, thank you all. And thank you for joining us. I'm just looking at the comments to see if there's any questions I need to answer. But it sounds like everybody is just having fun. So we've got the Collins family, the Rasmus family. I know you two were cooking with us. So enjoy your treats tonight before you go to bed. And Chef Penny, thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you in March.
Yes, thanks for filling my belly. I am going to enjoy these by myself right now.
Right. Yes, that's perfectly fine.
While watching the Olympics, right? Cheers.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. You all have a good night. We'll see you next month. Bye.